Now this video will have you add a few more extra little elements to the web page that makes it easier than just trying to put the code in. First of all, notice, here's my division I put in with a couple links. I would like to put something down below it. So the dilemma is I can't just press enter and get below that division. So what I'd have to do is I'd have to go into the source code. So this is where knowing the best of both worlds here. Here's my division. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a paragraph element. And notice that when I do that, it automatically adds the closing. So this editor would also be very user-friendly if you had to enter the element in the code. So let's go ahead and let's type in this is a table. All right, and if I want to get rid of the extra space, I can there. All right, so let's get out of the source. Now, underneath this line, I am going to insert our next object, and you will see that there's a table option. So when you click on it, very simple. How many rows? How many columns? Let's go 5. What's the width? Usually we don't specify the height, so let's make the width a little bit wider. And again, we would probably delete the attributes later and put it in the style sheet. There's cell spacing, cell padding. Well, let's add a caption. This is a sample table. And what's the alignment? Well, let's center it on the page. Now we're going to show you what it does. We would never usually choose this, but we will show you what it actually does. All right, and then notice that you also have a header option. I want that first row to be those THs, that header row. So we select it and click OK. There's our table. Now let's go ahead and do this. Just keep it real simple. Type a name, tab over, age, tab over, class, tab over, birth date, tab over, email. So as you press tab, it advances. Now once you get to the second row, this was our header one. So if I type in my data, look at that. It's not bold and centered. It knows the first row is a header row. So let me just do one more. There we go. I'll type in teacher, birth date. Look at that. And there we go. And notice it adjusts the table as is. Now let's take a peek at the source code and realize here's your table. Look at all the things that it puts in for you. All of this stuff we would normally say, look at, we're not going to do it using attributes. We'd rather do it using styles, but in the style sheet. Interesting enough, it does do the width as a style. So I'm going to delete this. And of course, when I click out of here, there's no style to it, but that can be controlled later on. All right, let's do another one. Underneath this table, you will notice there's an option to insert a horizontal line. There's my divider. Next to that, we can insert some smileys. Now, the interesting thing is this. When you choose a smiley, let's do the devil one here. If I go into the code, what it actually does is it inserts an image. So it's not like it's special code. It is actually a picture, and it's coming from basically GitHub, which is a universal sharing site for programmers. Next thing here, underneath the picture, let's go ahead and insert some special characters. Now, obviously, if you want a letter D, you're not going to come in here and insert a D because that's just a normal D. But some characters that we learned, like the copyright symbol, when you insert it, let's take a look at the code, that becomes an entity. So you can see it's actually doing that ampersand copy semicolon where the D was just normal text. So doing the insert symbol can get you those special characters that aren't on your keyboard. There's also an option for page break, but that's for printing. We should never have to worry about that. And also one for inserting iframes. Now, when you did your YouTube, when you copy a YouTube embed code, it's in an iframe. So, but iframe is used for other types of entities, including other web pages. You can actually do that. And let's go down to the bottom row here, last one, just to kind of cover the basics. You will notice the one of interest here, or two possibly, is a Google map. So let's go insert Google map. Now, here's how this works. It's really cool. All you have to do is type in your address, 431 Hamilton Avenue, Kingsford, Michigan. So width and height, that's fine. Click OK. And you'll notice, oh, look what it actually inserts for you. All right. Now, there is a difference in this. Let me preview this. Okay, so when I do this, I can't scroll it in here. I have to click it. This is just an image. And then it opens up Google Maps. So that is opposed to doing this while I'm here. I'll go in here and copy, share, or embed map. So here's my embed map. I'll copy the code. Notice it's an iframe, so copy. And then I'm going to go back to my page. And this time I'm going to go into the source code. And underneath that, where that image was, I'm going to go ahead and paste my iframe. All right, so one's an image, this one's an iframe. So you can see it's not loading yet until you preview it. Now inside of here, since this is embedded, you can actually interact with it here. So that's the difference between embedding it and just putting a link to it, which essentially this is what this is. All right, coming back to here, you can also do one more thing, add a new one. You can also insert a YouTube. So what it's going to ask you to do is when you do this, put the embed code here. So the difference is instead of you going into the code and pasting it, which is what you did in exercise 2, you can just paste the code right here and it'll take care of itself. Those are some of the other items you can add to a web page.